In this part of the guided journey, we're going to look at a typical AM component that uses various granite types in its dialog. So we're going to open up the dialog and look at the different fields within it. So we see here we have various fields in this dialog. The first one's a text field. The description is a text area. The path is a path finder. So we click on this icon, we can navigate to different places in the AM JCR. So once we select a specific path, we can click the checkbox and it's going to show up. The field label here is a date picker. So we can see when we click on it, we have access to a calendar that lets us pick a different date. The show here is a checkbox. We can select it and unselect it. And then finally we have a drop down. So here we have three values: small, medium, large. So when we fill out this dialog and click the checkbox, notice that the component is updated with the values. So looking at the actual dialog in the JCR, we can see that it's a touch UI dialog, so we can always know that because the first node, CQ dialog. Notice the node type is unstructured. The sling resource type here is a components authoring dialog. So we trace our way down the JCR node structure. We can see under items we have our various granite types here. So the first one is a text field. So we have the name is heading, the field label is heading text. Here is our text area. We can see its name is description, field label's description. Path, here's a path browser. So it lets us select a path. Notice its root path property. It lets us specify the location that acts as a default location that appears when we click the button in the dialog. Its name is path. Start date, well, here is a date picker, so its full name, Granite UI Components, Coral Foundation Form Date Picker. Notice the displayed format property lets us specify the format. Here we see the name is start date. This field here is a checkbox, so its fully qualified name is Granite UI Components Coral Foundation Form checkbox. Its name is show. And then finally we have a select or a drop down. Its full name is Granite UI Components Coral Foundation Form Select. Its name is size. And then if we open up the select, we can see underneath of it we have different nodes, and this represents the values that are displayed. Notice each node underneath simply is a unstructured node, has text value. Text appears in the UI, and then values what's submitted. So this is how we work with granite types in a component dialog. Each one is really just a unstructured node, and then it's got a sling resource type that points to the granite type. So this is really important to understand when you're building AM components and working with granite types for the touch UI environment. So finally, we're looking at the HTML script that we're going to use to read back the values. So because we're not using any Java, we're not using any backend Sling models or anything, we're just writing out the values of the dialog fields. So to do so, what we're doing is we're using this syntax in HTML. So notice it's $ open parentheses properties dot heading. Heading here is the name of the actual field. So we look at our property, we can say heading corresponds to this. The next one's description, which corresponds to the name field, which is description. Here we say selected path value, properties path. Well, obviously this is lining up with the path finder or path browser right here, and so forth. So this is really important to understand how to use, how to read back the values of the dialog from using HTML script.